Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt
And
Roast.
I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
We are here with our new edition of Big Brother 28 live feed
hmm
spoilers. Today is the veto ceremony. Of course, there is an exceptional amount of drama to go along with that. We have tears, we have people screaming into pillows. Everyone is mad.
Absolutely. But it is a given that Lala is going to remove herself.
Yeah, like that's the thing we can all say. We're recording this prior to the ceremony, but Lala's removing herself. Mallory is
For
going
sure.
up as the replacement nominee. Like
Yes.
there is no real drama there.
It's everything else.
It's everything else. Like this entire week is just the equivalent Big Brother wise of repeatedly hitting your head against the wall, wondering when are all of these newbies gonna collectively do something productive for their game? Actually interesting that would benefit them. This is the most frustrated I have been with the collection of new players since, I don't know, going all the way back maybe to Big Brother 13, where it just seemed like they were falling all over themselves for most of the game.
Absolutely. Or even the Traders US season 1, where we had like half the cast were reality stars and half the cast are newbies, and all the newbies were completely forgettable. They all just
Yeah.
fell off like very, very quickly. They couldn't get themselves together. And that's why it's always very hard when you have returning players
Mm.
with new people, because people get starstruck. People want America to like them, so they're going to want to work with them. People who are returning players, even if it's from another reality show, have reality show experience. So they're going into this show with experience where other people aren't.
Yeah, and I
It's very hard. It's very frustrating.
that really does lead us, I think, to the big central question at the heart of this video, which is just that because of Dee's reality show experience, has she been able to find loopholes and bend the rules of certain things in Big Brother to her benefit, maybe in a way that the newbies would not? Like, I know that there are some things we can't blame the newbies for, but there are a lot of things we 100% can.
Yes, this is going to be the second time this season now that we are going to be talking about D and a possible rule break.
Yeah, like earlier, we did a video earlier this season on our YouTube memberships talking about have not rules and whether or not
Right.
D broke those. I mean, yeah, be sure to join our YouTube memberships. It's a really, really great way to help support
Mhm,
us. We have a new video there that is all about ranking these players in mid-season. But yeah,
mhm.
we did that video, and now here we are talking about it, I think, within the context of the BB Bribe and what the rules are and what production is kind of willing to enforce or doesn't really care about at all.
Yeah, and it's really interesting that we're kind of in this spot, because with the have not rule break, that was actually just a rule break. If you're a have not, you can't be throwing nerd gummy clusters in your mouth as much as Matt likes them. You're not allowed to do that. It is just a straight up rule break.
Yeah.
The rule break that we're going to be talking about here is using production as strategy. You're not allowed to lie about things that have to do with production or powers or anything like that.
Mm.
Here we are in a situation where D has not exactly lied, but has lied by omission. There are certain things that she has not included in packaging up a kind of truth.
Yeah. This brings me really, really far back. Like Jess and I, for many, many years, we covered the Blacklist here at the YouTube channel.
Yo, it was so fun. What a
Yeah,
great show.
we had such a blast talking about this show. And one of the things we always debated, because Reddington, James Spader's character, would always be like, I will never tell you a lie, Elizabeth. And it eventually got to this point where we kind of questioned it over and over. It's like, okay, maybe he's not lying. Maybe he's just not telling her things. Then
Right.
that's not quote unquote a lie. But okay, within the context of Big Brother, though, this started yesterday afternoon because Dee decided, all right, if I'm going to put Mallory up on the block, I can't blindside all of the crossovers with this.
Right.
I have to find a way to tip them off, but also kind of diffuse a lot of situations, questions that they're going to be bringing up, because inevitably they're going to ask me, well, why are you not nominating Yash? Why are you not nominating Haley? Like looking in
Yes.
those directions.
Of course, and that makes complete sense. She's supposed to be in this mosh pit alliance that
Yes.
includes Drew, who's on the block, and now Mallory, who's going on the block. Like, what is happening here?
Yeah, so she starts this off with Drew, which I thought was kind of interesting that she talked to Drew about some of this before Barrett, but that's neither here nor there. But she brings up that this bribe thing happened with Yash, and she mentions that, all right, it's going to keep me safe if Yash wins HOH, but
Mhm.
she does not mention anything about the other icons. And technically, the deal is it's for all three icons. And I think where this gets to be an interesting, I don't know if we can call this an unprecedented gray area, but still a gray area is, as you said, you can't use production as strategy. And that's something that Devins has even talked about on the feeds earlier on this season, where this is not Survivor. You can't have fake immunity idols. You can't like make up complete advantages here. Is it wrong then that D has this thing that is actually binding where Yash has to do exactly what this says in return for that $5,000? But then D doesn't actually have to tell everybody else all of the details about it. It just feels sketchy. And if they let her get away with it, more power to D. I'm not blaming D. D's figuring out a way in which to make this work for her. I mean, good for her.
Yeah, I guess. I feel like if production has rules in place with a lot of this stuff
Yeah.
and she's already gotten away with straight up rule breaks, like where is the line then? Like we all know that this season is heavily skewed so
Yes.
that one of the returnees, specifically to me, one of the Survivor players wins this season because they have Survivor 51 coming up. Having a Survivor person win this season will then, they think, probably move everybody into the next season of Survivor. And that's not exactly how it works. I
No.
mean, will watch Survivor. It's probably my least favorite of all the reality shows that we do end up covering. I'm really into Big Brother, as you guys know.
Mhm.
I love The Traitors, is my ultimate favorite. But if you're watching Big Brother and you're watching Survivor, these shows are very different and they're they're completely played differently. There you can use production as a strategy, like you said.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're just not coming down on D because it's D, and they have given a lot of advantages to the returnees or to the icons, and that they're not gonna penalize her for this, and I don't think they will for anything.
It just, all of this just reinforces that narrative, I think, more and more and more. Where if they came down on D and was like, you know what, D, if you're gonna talk about the bribe, you actually have to tell everybody what the bribe is,
That's right.
who it applies for. And like the obvious reason she doesn't want to do this is because it ties into what I actually think D and Devin's best move is this season, which is somehow convincing all of these people that despite the fact that they know each other outside the game and they played on a season of Survivor, that they're not that close. And like they don't tell each other. It is beyond out of their mind that these newbies believe all of this, but it's just leaving this information out. It allows her to continue to kind of perpetuate this thing so that Drew and then Barrett, they can hear about this and be like, oh, well, of course D doesn't want to put up Yash because she's trying to look out for her own game. That doesn't affect me. I can understand someone who's going to be selfish in order to protect themselves, right?
They're going to believe anything she says anyways. I think that they're fully aware that, I mean, especially Barrett, he's just a super fan in general. He knows that Dee and Devins know each other fairly well. So I don't think that he's blinded to that. He just wants to work with them. So he's like, whatever, I don't really care. I'm your puppet. So that's just the way it's going to go anyways.
So initially, Dee tells Drew all this information. Okay, all right, Mallory's going up on the block. He has a little bit of pushback. Like, he questions, of course, Yash and everything that's going on there.
Yes.
Dee continues to say that, oh, if Haley went ahead of Household, she's never going to put me up. She's not putting me up. I feel like Mallory would put me up. And I mean, technically, she's really not wrong with that assumption. Like, I feel like Mallory probably would.
Yeah, but Drew's pushback is right because Yash did put you on the block.
Yes.
It's not even would he put you on the block. He did put you on the block. So would he put you on the block again? Yes. So once he gets the opportunity to be able to do so, pass the bribe, he will absolutely put you on the block again.
Yeah, like the thing that's hard for Drew in this situation is that he's already on the block, like you said
Yes,
here. So
he is.
he can't push back too hard, especially
No.
because Dee is telling him, don't worry, you're not the target. Now, she's not being altogether forthcoming about who the target really is to a lot of these people just yet. But if Drew is hearing, you're not the target, especially after everything that happened before the nomination ceremony,
Right.
he can't do or say too much. So Drew gets this information. In comes Barrett, and Barrett folds, and I don't know, about 2 or 3 minutes, he acts upset about Mallory, but then, of course, this is Barrett, and he just listens and supports and hugs Dee and all of
That's
that
right.
sort of nonsense.
Yeah, I guess back in line.
So the only thing that's interesting, and I'm not going to put a lot of stock into this, I refuse to put any hope in anything when it comes to Drew and Barrett. I am off this train. I'm not buying another ticket, but
Yeah, you out of the crib?
I am out of the crib.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't know that you were ever in the crib, but
I
yeah.
had a foot in at certain points, but I am all the way out now. Just because Drew and Barrett, they have had both a late night conversation and a conversation yesterday in the backyard that we'll get more into about potentially targeting the icons and turning on them sooner rather than later. Barrett hasn't told Dee about all of this as of yet. He hasn't thrown Drew as of yet under the bus.
And he kind of can't on this one because he participated in this conversation as well. I think that when the two of them are really talking about stuff like that, where they're both like, yeah, we got to get them out. Yeah, we do. He knows that Drew also goes back to the icons and tells them everything. They both know that they are playing the same game in that way. But when they're both out there saying the same type of thing, yeah, we're going to target them. Yeah, it's coming up. It's time to target them. One can't go without burning the other person's game. Because if Barrett goes back and is like, Dee, this is what Drew said last night, Drew's going to be like, that is also what you said. You were sitting there with me. So Barrett just burns himself.
And because Barrett is playing just this unbelievably cowardly game, he can't do anything that goes against Dee. Like, in his heart of hearts, like, maybe he wouldn't want to keep Drew if Taylor wins the blockbuster and it's between Drew and Mallory, but he doesn't want to make Dee potentially mad here. And so, like, if it eventually comes out that it's like, all right, Mallory is the target, and he already knows that she would rather Mallory go than Drew, he has to tell her, okay, yeah, I will vote to keep Drew in that situation. I will vote to evict. He just has to fall in line with every single little thing.
Absolutely. He's here to make the friends along the way. He's not here to actually win any money.
Okay, this all does lead to what was the most comical thing that happened over everything yesterday. And that is, as we mentioned, Drew and Barrett, they had this conversation in the backyard. And like a classic rule of Big Brother is anytime you're having a conversation, you need to look and see where everybody else is. Is somebody far enough away that they can hear you? If you're having a conversation inside, you have to account for is somebody listening on the other side of the door.
Yes, or if you're talking to the camera, that someone's not on the other side of the door. Cliff, what a huge mistake that guy made.
Oh, that was so funny. Okay, now this...
ridiculous.
So Devins is outside while Drew and Barrett are having this conversation, and he doesn't even say that much when he comes in, but he's like wearing these sunglasses. He acts all kind of twitchy and eager, and a lot of these other people have been around Devins at this point enough to know that that kind of means that he's anxious, that he's sitting on something. And Drew picks up on some of this, and like Devins just asks like the most basic conversations, and Drew just starts spilling because like he and Barrett are so scared that Devins is overheard. And Devins, by the way, all he actually heard were like a couple of names. And then Drew is just like, well, we were just talking about, we don't know if the icons really have our backs because I was put on the block and blah, 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 blah. And what you said to me, you know, when you were talking about, oh, if Mallory and Melody don't vote the way that we want, that we're going to air everything out. And like, he was just so just...
But I also understand why Drew is like that, because Devins did threaten him and was like, if you don't get them in line, that's on you guys. It's not on them. It's on you guys. You guys brought them in to be working with us. So you guys have to make sure that they're voting that way. And I know that that's been sitting on Drew for a while since that threat came in, because Devins is someone that he really wants to be working with and, you know, going pretty far into the game with. So yeah, absolutely. I understand why he's spiraling out on that.
So if we're going to just take a trip here to Facepalm City with a lot of these newbies, I think the big facepalm for Barrett is obvious. It's Dee. For Drew, it's Devins, because like I think there might be a part of Drew at this point who does legitimately want to turn on Dee, who is over Dee, and how Dee just continues to like pull him in all directions. But because Drew doesn't see the closeness between Devins and Dee, he thinks he can go to Devins and vent to him and talk about game to him and throw people under the bus, and it's all gonna be okay because he still has this like weird father figure fixation going on with Devins.
As many people do.
Yeah, like even now, like as we get into the Melody and Mallory part of all of this, even when Drew is talking to some of them about how they're feeling about Mallory going up on the block, he's still like, yeah, maybe I would nominate some of the icons now, but not Devins. I can't nominate Devins.
Yeah, I think that Devins really is just his actual number one, whether he wants to tell us or not. I think he really wants to ride to the end with Devins, whether he loses or not. And everybody loses to Devins. So.
It's so true, and it's once again actions speak louder than words. Like this is why it's so hard to be for any newbie at this point when it is just like, yeah, I can feel for some of them emotionally like I do Taylor, but then I look at some of these other people like Melody and Mallory where they get told about some of this stuff. Like Dee and Barrett, they have long conversations. Like, you know, Dee tells Mallory somewhat about her going up. She's being considered, I guess, because the renom rule, Dee can't really tell her like straight out.
Mm-hmm.
Mallory's already crying, and then in comes Barrett, who basically breaks the news straight up, tells her everything that's going on. She is really, really mad. She is furious at Barrett at first for being like, you told me
Yes.
that I was safe. You said that I could trust her. And he's just like, well, I guess I have to own that. That's like, yes, you do, Barrett.
Oh my God. Yeah. Barrett absolutely has. I feel that Barrett was not going to win this game anyways, but he has definitely lost the votes here if they ever end up on jury because for sure he promised them that they would be fine as long as they fell in line and voted with them. They've done everything they're supposed to do, and they're still ending up on the block when there's other options. If there was no other options, then I could see Mallory being a little more like, okay, we're at the bottom of this. That's fine. But you have other people that are there. Like, take the Yosh out of it. Why is Haley not on the block? She can absolutely be on the block.
Yeah.
Why somebody from your own alliance that you're supposed to be working with, and even her just looking around, the optics of it are bad anyways, that Drew is also sitting on this block. We're all supposed to be in it together.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, like, Dee, she hasn't said to everybody Mallory's the target yet. She's going to kind of let things simmer, wants them to believe at first it's Taylor, and then eventually it's going to shift over. But like you just sort of insinuated, this is two people from the mosh pit on the block on Dee's HOH. It's like they can sort of read a lot of the tea leaves here, and I think that's where some of this anger is coming from, where, yeah, they're really, really mad at Dee.
I would be so mad that, not even necessarily at Dee, I'd be so mad that I fell for it because Melody and Mallory have had the conversation around that time that was all coming together, that they were just like, this is very convenient that this mosh pit's coming together right at this time, that they really need our votes. How much can we really believe it? And now this week where it's like, you know, Mallory's going to end up there, I would be mad at myself if I was Mallory, being like, why did I believe this? There were more votes last week. We could have dealt with this. We didn't deal with this. We could have gotten out Angela if we were able to. She didn't win the blockbuster. We could have dealt with this, but, you know, we didn't.
And that is why, while it may hurt on some level to see Mallory so upset, see Melody so mad after hearing about some of this news that she's going to the other room and basically just screaming into a pillow by herself because she cannot believe what is happening. You guys have to do something. I'm going to have to give some, I don't even know if it's tough love, but I'm just going to have to be tough with you guys now because it's just like you talk about how you want to make moves, how you're going to do this, how you're going to really prove yourselves. And then you do nothing. You complain to each other. And even Melody was so mad at Drew for a lot of last night. Then what is she doing an hour later? Just hanging out with Drew. And Drew's even like, if you don't trust me, why are you hanging out with me? And she's just like, because we're friends. It's like, great. This is lame. You guys haven't learned anything. This alliance is useless.
Okay, hard hat on. There's nothing they can really do. They're not getting into power. Mallory's throwing HOHs. They're not actually able to get into any power to actually do anything. Yosh got into power. He's the only person that's put any of the icons up.
Yeah.
Now he's throttled. He's unable to do this. there's just nobody is doing anything because they're throwing things and they're not getting into power. And even if they do, they're not doing anything. You know, we had Lala in power who ended up deciding not to put on any icons up on the block. She could have been the person to flush out this diamond power veto. Yash could have been the person to put them up and actually get one of them out.
Okay, so we have two little odds and ends to get to before we wrap everything up. One of them, from Taylor's vantage point,
Yep.
she's talked about not really wanting to campaign. And I know Taylor has also said she's not really even sure if she wants to be there. But I think for Taylor's...
As many people feel in this game.
Yeah, I understand that at this point. I think for Taylor's game, I usually would be like, this is a bad idea, but I kind of feel like for her right now, just let Drew go and talk and cause more problems for himself, because I feel like Mallory's already going to be a target. The target easily could shift over to Drew. And
Yes.
they may be so desperate to split up part of FAP, and Barrett will do whatever D wants, that at the end of the day, Taylor may still be okay here regardless, even if she doesn't win the blockbuster.
I agree. I think that if Taylor really spends less time campaigning, and yeah, normally I'm get out there and campaign as much as you can, but she can take this week to maybe build some more relationships, continue to build on the relationships with some of the icons, with some of the other people in the house to be able to move forward. Drew is going to spiral out. It is what's happening. He's been getting really messy the past couple of weeks. And Mallory is pissed off, as she should be right now.
Yes.
That who knows how that's going to end up really spiraling out.
All right. Finally, Dee has told us in a little camera confessional here that it would be stupid to go to the end of the game with Angela and Devins, that emotionally she may want it. So consider this some seed planting.
Okay, yeah, yes and no. It is stupid for her to go to the end with Devins. Devins beats everyone and absolutely beats her as well. Going to the end with Angela, I could see that actually being a really split vote.
Yeah, I think there's a chance Dee ends up winning that, even though she's going to burn some people. Like, she's clearly burned some people this week.
She has, but people do seem to... no matter what she's doing and who she's burning, people are still kind of coming around to everything. I'm like, is she really burning these jury votes the way that I think she should be burning them? There's something about her. She's got the mist that is just making people turn around.
Can for the 1000th episode, they just be like, we've had this other group of newbies in sequester this whole season, and we just swap out Taylor can stay. Everyone else can be swapped out.
Yeah.
But no, that's where we are with this edition of Big Brother 28 live feed spoilers. We want to know from you guys, what do you want to see happen in the aftermath of the veto ceremony? Do you think Dee should be allowed to do what she is with this BB bribe? And if you do want to support us further, join our YouTube memberships. We do have that exclusive video over there all about player rankings mid-season. Thank you so much. We will see you here next time.